Welcome back to the HGC. We are getting ready for our second series of the day here, and it's been a good day so far. Playing Ducks getting a victory, a close series against Strict Esports, but they were able to edge out the victory. And the next match is gonna be a good one too. Team Good Guys and Team Liquid coming at you.
Exactly. So Team Liquid is of course currently in a spot where they basically want to improve their position for the playoffs. There is still an absolute fringe scenario in which they actually could drop out into the Crucible, but that would include some crazy developments. So right now they're trying to improve their playoff position, basically.
That they are. Let's look at the standings right now so we get an idea of where Team Liquid currently sits in the top 8. Here they are, sitting in the middle at a 5th place seating with a 5-6 record, looking to improve that, continuing to move up. Team Good Guys have a chance here to kind of mess that up, though, for Team Liquid.
Yeah, exactly. So they could definitely make the first step of pushing Team Liquid farther down into the Crucible range, or at least into a bad playoff spot. When you're playing Ducks fan, the best chance for the Ducks to actually make something happen here is to bank on the Zealots losing their series against the Good Guys. That's the best chance, because if the Zealots, on the other hand, they win, I mean, it's pretty crazy. They still need to win against Fnatic. That alone is already going to be a really tall order. So if they play like this, you know, maybe somehow they can do it again. They did it already once in Phase 2 Part 1. Maybe in Part 2 they can make that miracle happen again, since also Fnatic is already qualified for BlizzCon for the HGC finals. But as we heard before, it is not very likely.
The Playing Ducks are hoping that a lot of puzzle pieces fall into the right place. Let's go ahead and look at the schedule here for today. We've already had one match earlier. As mentioned, the Playing Ducks did get their win. So one piece already in. They're looking for a few more. Yeah. But again, they have gotten the victory. Next is Team Good Guys and Team Liquid.
The other thing is that if the Ducks actually fall into the Crucible, which looks very likely, of course, then the way they present themselves right now would make it extremely unattractive for any team from the open division that makes it to the playoffs to pick them as their opponent.
Well, later on, Team Freedom and Space Station Gaming will be coming at you for North America. Space Station Gaming hoping to get a win after yesterday's loss, and then we'll have the rest of the series for the rest of today coming at you. Gillyweed and Dread, of course, will always be here bringing you the commentary on that. So as we head into this, Team Good Guys, they are a team that the last few weeks have started to really look like the weakest team we have in Europe. When they started out, they were more of a routine-based type of team. They had a lot of moments where they moved into Illidan comps, tried to go for focuses, had some hard time on the Warrior slot, and lately they've been adding some flair, but it hasn't been quite enough. They're here to talk about the series today already, as well as Team Liquid.
So we had a very rough start in the second split of the HGC. We went 0-3, but after the win against Playing Ducks, we feel a lot of relief. So we are facing TGG this weekend on Saturday. Last time we won 3-0 against them, but I'm sure they improved, and we will try our best in the matchup, obviously. Like, we want to secure our playoff spot. They are a decent team, but they do questionable macro calls or some individual mistakes, and I think we can abuse those mistakes. So they might be unpredictable, and it might make them quite a tough opponent, actually. So I am indeed a bit worried about them.
I still consider Team Liquid as a top-tier team in Europe, even though they're currently underperforming. I think if they can find their old form, they can manage to get back to the top ranks in Europe. A player that stands out for me on their team is definitely Hazuops, because he has a lot of niche picks which are really hard to deal with, especially his Vikings, which he's famous for, but also like Abatur is also strong from the series. I hope we can maybe take a map or two from them and improve overall as a team.
I like that Hasselhoff's brought up in that interview. I feel like Hasselhoff and Nurok right now are the two members of the team of Team Liquid that I look at, and they are the most consistent for the last few weeks. They always come out and they perform. Where we've had the inconsistent play has been all over the place. Blumby sometimes a little bit out of position occasionally, Splendor missing important Divine Shields, Ancestor Healing, or Darkmok not really being the playmaker that we know him to be. This team needs to find that glue that they've been missing for weeks.
And against TGG, they need a victory here. It's just plain and simple. TGG, of course, they want to get some confidence for the Crucible here. They want to improve. They might try a few new things that they're going to try out here. But at the same time, if Liquid wants to go back where they feel they belong, we all think they belong, then they need to make an example today.
We'll see if they can make that example. Right now, let's look at the cheers for both of our teams. The top 5. For each of them here. Staffel at the very top with 11,500 for Team Good Guys, going all the way to Gopnok here with 4,300.
Yep, Arkham, Searchmaster DN, Physica Optica in there as well. Another team that Gladman hates for some reason.
We don't believe that, Clamman. Don't feel any pressure. Team Liquid here with the very top. And who is that, Caldor?
Nachtschatten.
It's very true there. 42,000 here. Christopher Zero is 25,000. And Oleg Boo with 12,000 at the very bottom.
It's all the Germans.
All the Germans bringing in there. Dropping down the cheers. Thank you for your continued support of the teams. Battleground number 1 is now ready for our Best of 5 series. It's going to be Cursed Hollow, Team Good Guys, heading straight there.
Yeah, Cursed Hollow, a map where we have seen Team Liquid with a variety of strategies. It's also where every now and then Hazops pulls out the Vikings, so that has been targeted quite heavily by a lot of teams. They haven't really done as much Viking play recently, but this is also one of those... I mean, if you start to play normal again, then teams start to not really think about your Vikings anymore, but I think for Team Liquid, it's always something they can show. Yeah. So the Vikings might make an appearance here today, but then again, let's find out what exactly the good guys have planned here, because they need to show something today as well. We've been talking about how Team Liquid has to make an example here of how good they are and that they want to get back, but at the same time, the good guys have also, I mean, they can make a good argument for themselves right now in the sense that if they present themselves to be quite strong, then top team in the playoffs on the open division might actually not choose them. So it's all about the open division for the good guys right now. They can't move out of those spots anymore. They are definitely confirmed to be last place in the league.
Team Good Guys coming to this Battleground 2 also sets them up for the plays that we've been seeing for the last couple of weeks from them, with them putting BKB in the offlaner. We've seen him on the ETC and the Dahaka. They want to grab one of those heroes. Typically, we've also been seeing Anti play the Arthas. So if we get Dahaka Arthas, that's good for Good Guys fans. That means they are playing the compositions that they've been trying to run for the last few weeks.
Yeah, for me, it's interesting to see what anti-hero is going to be playing in particular. I think that they are probably one of the teams that is going to play a lot of Leoric. I expect a lot of Leoric to be played in this series. Again, he is the hero of the weekend for me personally. He has a 3-0 win record today. Every single team where we saw the Playing Ducks draft Leoric, they won the game. Then in the end, Team Liquid has stated in personal streams of Hazops, for example, that they really think Leoric is incredibly powerful. So I expect them to use it too. Anti-hero has a very... He's very smart in the way that he thinks about the game, so usually he oftentimes picks up very fast on new patches and what exactly could be good for his own hero pool. And since he is the offlaner for the team, oftentimes I think that's something that we're going to see. But lately he has played more main tank positions, so we could see that switch again, which allows BKB to be more aggressive. So it feels like we haven't really casted the good guys for quite some time. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I believe it was last Friday we sold them, so it's got some time between the games here. And this is where actually we need to find out what's going to happen for Team Good Guys. Are they going to keep BKB in that spot? I think he looks much better as an offlaner that has moments where he can hit those big plays. He wants to make them. You can feel it when he's playing the game. Dahaka has been allowing him to do that. And if they're going to play away from that Dahaka, they need to make sure they trade off well. The Rhaegar Tyrande is going to be their pickup. And this is actually a bit of a big adjustment for Team Good Guys. First off, they stay away from the split pushers, and they put Tyrande as a top 2 pick for them.
Yeah, and with Tyrande, they already... First of all, you take Tyrande away from a potential ETC comp. That's not as dominant right now as other combinations with Uther, for example, using a Divine Shield on ETC, but it's still a combo that has synergy. With Tyrande on the map, you also have a lot of scouting opportunities. So you will be able to spot if there's a boss call made from the opponent if you send those ults across. That's one of the things that we're going to see here. We have seen some Tyrande play for them already, but that is definitely a much higher priority than we've seen so far.
So someone that has slipped the draft right now is a Tassadar.
Yeah.
Tassadar can be picked up here for Team Liquid, or could have the Tracer pull out too. It's going to be the Dahaka and the Li Ming, so Tassadar makes it through the first 5 picks of our teams.
And that also is now interesting because Dahaka is, of course, telling us that Team Liquid is not going to play with Leoric in this game, or it's very unlikely that they do. Again, Hazops has stated several times on his stream that they scrimmed with Leoric a lot. They feel he's very strong. They also feel that he's strong against them. So they value him quite highly, but they value Dahaka with the global mobility more so. And it also makes sense, and they are extremely successful with Dahaka play. The good guys, on the other hand, they have still a chance to go into a double frontline here if they want to. For them, it's now all about the bans first of all, and you can definitely target another support here. Uther is already banned out, so that Divine Shield Mosh Pit is not going to be something you worry about. You have Rhaegar and Tyrande taken, so you can really target the support pool of Team Liquid in this case.
Team Good Guys still thinking about what they want to ban out. Curious if they're going to grab their Vol. They've been playing a lot of Vol as of late, a majority of their matches when they do get to the 3rd and 4th slot. And I want to know who their tank is going to be. That's what's really itching me right now. Who's playing tank today for Team Good Guys? Because it's been a bit of a rotation for the last couple of weeks. That Arthas being banned out, Team Liquid has identified that Arthas is usually someone that will get picked up by Anti.
Also, we have Falstad banned out, so that's a lot of control, and it's also disengaged that you have.
The last 2 times that Curse has been played, Team Liquid has gone into that Falstad, so that's actually a very smart ban. Team Good Guys doing their research.
Hazobs has been playing Falstad a lot more, again, but they already have the Haka as a global.
Did you ask him about that build, that hybrid build where he was going into the Gathering Storm into Giant Killer at 13?
Actually, I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't yet.
We still have to hit him up on that and figure out what's going on with that. All right, well, Falstad Arthas has been banned out. Team Good Guys. Vala has been their go-to, but I wouldn't mind a Great here, actually. You get a lot of bursts, you get a good follow-up on the totems, and Tronda locked down if you get a good tank.
And with Liming taken away, you could get your wish of... Ah, there we have it. Okay, so Leoric is taken. That's exactly what I wanted to see, if they prioritize it high. I knew that Team Liquid values it highly, but as you can see, not over the Haka. But at least not on this map. It's again a map issue. On Curse, I can actually understand that you move away from it a bit more, and as the map is so big and the objectives are usually you can take the fights that you want. You don't have to fight over every single tribute, so you can actually outplay an opponent more with macro play and don't have to engage into 5 versus 5 team fights as often as on Inferno Shrines and a lot of other maps that are very much like it with a single objective on the map. So I feel he loses a bit of priority here. That's why I can fully understand that they prioritize the Haka over him. But for the Good Guys, it still means let's go Leo.
I could see a world where Leo, with the build that we've been seeing around boss control, becomes a nuisance. You hit everyone on the opposing team, they can't burn down the boss, they can't fight you, and if you outmaneuver them and make sure they're taking the boss aggro, they get destroyed.
I can see that Leo gets into a position where if Leo hits 16, you treat him like you would treat Tyrael.
Yeah.
Where you say, if we fight on the boss, Tyrael can try and grab the boss away with him hitting a holy ground. But if we engage into a level 16 Leoric and we all have to clump up on the spot, we are not going to do any damage here because he's going to hit every single one of us with a good Wraith Wall.
I just had shudders go down my spine there thinking about that, how much Leo could destroy.
It's scary. The question is always just, can you force those fights? If you are guaranteed that you will be able to force these boss fights, I would say pick up Leo like super high in priority. But on Cursed Hollow, you can usually make the play for the opposite boss, especially if you have any kind of vision tool in your own setup. So you can, if you know my opponent takes the boss at the bot lane, you simply move to the top and take the boss there.
So I'm wondering if Anti's at Leo. If so, does that mean Team Good Guys will be moving into a Muradin for BKB? Allow him to jump on that back line, be aggressive, but also have nice sustain. There are other options like Stitches if you want to go into the comp that we just saw earlier where you hook someone in and have the Tronda, Luna Flare follow up.
Muradin or Johanna would be good moves. But yes, Stitches with a hook follow-up could be a choice if they want to play a bit more passive with it.
Muradin. Okay, so there we go. BKB looks like it's going to be the tank today.
Yeah, would be surprised if that's Anti. And Anti actually has good Leo play. So he's going to do a decent job with executing that build. We might see a few adjustments. I haven't seen his personal Leoric build just yet. The standard build is the one that we've been going over already several times in the previous series. But we could see small adjustments and maybe even completely different build on his part. Don't necessarily expect it. Maybe on the first 3 talents, especially the level 7 talent, seems to be the one where everybody has his own take on the build. But on 13, 16, I would still expect them to completely spec into Wraithwalk here.
I'm kind of curious, this Karazim pick, is this a pick because of the Leo coming in? Are they wanting to be in a spot where they can drop a 7-sided? Because I would imagine that that does not affect the damage. It's percent-based.
It's not really worth it.
No,
no, like that's actually something that has already been discussed by a couple of the pros as well. As a direct counter to Leah, it's not really worth it. Usually, Karazim doesn't offer as much power, but you have to also consider how many heroes were already taken away. Uther was being banned. There are other options, but if you go into a single healer, Karazim is good, Splendor is strong on him, and at the same time, if there's any kind of burst with any kind of stun lockup, if you have Muradin and Tyrande into a Cursed Bullet, for example, a quick palm can really save the day here. So having that panic button available is helpful. Is Brightwing really going to be the one to save the target? Probably not. If you have a Malfurion and you have heal over time, which makes it also difficult. I think with Karazim being in the mix, if you go into Palm, if someone is locked down, you have a good chance. And later on, when you pick up your triple cleanse, which I think is very likely we're going to see here, you can just negate all of its stuns.
Well, let's go ahead and go into game number 1 here. Team Good Guys taking on Team Liquid. We're going to Cursed Hollow, and we're going to see the new Leo as he faces off against TL.
Game on! Map number 1 as the good guys head off against Team Liquid with Kronos on Tyrande, BKB on Muradin. We see Xay on Greymane right now for the team with the damage dealing. Antihero, of course, on the offlaner. He's playing Leoric. And last but not least, Raid Boss on Rega.
On the right side in the red, it is Team Liquid. Darkmok playing Dehaka, Splinter playing Karazim, Hasuwabs will be your Vala player here, Blumby playing ETC, and Nurok here with Li Ming. And we'll see if he goes for that auto attack Li Ming and shows the world once again how to play it.
Yeah, so let's find out how exactly this is going to work out for Team Liquid here. They need a victory here if they want to move up in the ranks to make themselves, put themselves in a really good position for the standings. So far, by the way, as we've been talking about him, Leoric is going for the standard build, so Antihero dropping Consume Vitality on level 1. Tyrande with the Owl build. No big surprises here so far. An arrow build for Vala, Progrock for ETC. Pretty much the standard on all of the talents. Maybe the one that we need to point out, since we have seen some variation from the Zealots yesterday, is that Muradin went into block on level 1.
A block be helpful against Vala, and once you get through the Hungering Arrow, being able to stop some of those auto attacks is always good in itself. Let's watch Team Good Guys. They head to the top lane. They're looking for Darkmok, but Darkmok, being wise, is aware that some people are missing out. Is going to play safe.
Yeah, this looks very much like 2015 right now. Yep, Muradin and Tyrande are walking the maps again. Miranda on the move. Xay in trouble, by the way. That's going to be a dead Greymane for sure. Blumby still has the slide. Blumby messing that up, actually.
Missed the power slide there, barely out of reach. Is they able to get out?
Whoa, that was a missed kill right here. Too late on the power slide, and therefore he doesn't move past the target. Can't body block, can't push him back. And that was a bit of a misstep here, for sure. That should have been a kill.
Well, Team Good Guys survive and are happy to do so. Lior comes to the middle to slow down ETC and Karazim as they rotate to the middle, but a good play overall from Darkmok. Team Good Guys being able to get out. No kills yet for either of our teams as we head into level 3.
Yeah, but we see Muradin and Tyrande roaming now, and this is exactly what you expect with the composition that Team Good Guys is playing here. It's really the stun lockdown that you're looking for. Stun into stun, then Tyrande also applying her trade, and you go straight for all that damage. With the pressure play at the top lane, we've seen the towers already suffer. So right now, Greymane is doing well against Dehaka for that very reason. In the bot lane, it's still Rega against Li Ming in that one-on-one situation. But now as we have 2 minutes into the game, the Siege Giants dropping, both of the teams aim straight away for the mercenary camp, hoping for the RNG gods to smile friendly upon them. And we have also an Owl scouting the situation out.
Yep, Tyrande. Always good to have that game sense, understanding what your opponent wants to do a certain amount of time so you can get some stacks. Now, those Owls did not connect quite with anyone on the right side. Team Liquid was expecting it and positioned pretty well, but again, you can usually get a stack or two knowing that 2-minute timer does hit and looking for your opponents to be there to burn down those Giants, which will be heading on the bottom side. Team Good Guys are going to the top, and we should be having that tribute spawn. Remember, it does spawn before 2:55, so we should be having it pop up soon.
Yep, stun into stun against Karazim. Now he still has some dashes available, doesn't even need to use them in this case. And have the tribute spawning at the bot lane, which favors for now the Good Guys push up at the top. But with Leoric now going up against Dehaka, Dehaka has actually done pretty well against him thus far. Antihero is a bit under trouble here, and that will allow Team Liquid to clear the lane. So the tribute should actually go over to them, since Dehaka is going to be the one that can move down to the bot lane.
Yep, Dark won't be one of those few heroes that can handle that giant push that you have coming your way. Still up there against Leoric. Leoric can't really rotate down, so it's all about who can contest and poke the most down on the bottom side. And if Dehaka sees a spot where, okay, I can go in and force a kill, you could see him rotate in, but he has to be careful, because that moment he does leave, he will lose turrets if he is not careful.
You can see that the Good Guys are just lacking a bit down here. They don't really have the damage output just yet to really threaten anything. Team Liquid is going to be able to delay this for ages, and they now have Karazim even in the mid lane sitting there for extra experience. I don't see that tribute going over to Good Guys if Liquid wants it. They can fight this forever.
Darkmok winning that lane pretty heavily too, keeping up the damage on Leo. Always burrowing when that Drain Hope comes out, trying to stop him from being too effective in that lane. Once he gets level 7, that'll be much harder for Antihero to deal with.
Now Rega moving into the middle, scouted out by Karazim, who was just sitting there the entire time, not even showing, and now he moves down and they are going to try and make that play. Rega is going to be a bit late to all of this, and even if he still arrives, there's going to be a lot of free damage on the rest of the team. So now Team Liquid can easily start to take that tribute. Well played. They see Rega move in. That's the moment when Karazim sneaks past him, moves down, and they grab the tribute.
Couple minions of experience missed, but remember Splinter did soak those earlier, so he is just fine as they balance it out. And Team Liquid, although Titan Experience gets the first tribute of the game, but Dark Monk's still doing very well in the top lane. Team Good Guys still floating around here, trying to move towards that level 10. But with that delay also, do remember that the third Tribute will be a spot that Team Liquid might be in an area where they will be on even heroics, possibly, if Team Good Guys doesn't lose any members here and so correctly.
Also, Leoric has now taken Willing Vessel, and the reason for this is mainly since the Haka has been doing very well on that solo lane against him, so now he has an increased heal and lane sustain where he can match the Haka a lot better. Neil Peasants as the level 4 talent, of course, helps with the wave clear also quite significantly, and Leoric is starting to push that lane in against the Haka a little bit more. The second tower already about to fall, and Antihero is really doing some solid work here. As long as he hits his drain, which is really important, he's going to be fine against Darkmok, and he's already starting to pressure towards the fort itself. But now the next Tribute is appearing on the map, and the Good Guys have taken that camp in the mid lane just a little bit too soon.
Being cleared out by Team Liquid, so they come in here to fight and try to prevent them from clearing it up so they can get the middle pushing in and then make a move for the Tribute on the right side. Leoric already up there. Blumby not in position to be able to disrupt, but Nurok hoping to do so comes in, but BKB with the clutch Stormbolt does hit Li Ming, but Splendor jumps over the wall and gets that hit.
Great interrupt by Splendor. That was actually well done, both by BKB with the Stormbolt against Nurok and also with the interrupt that we saw from Karazim. Both of them on 9. Blumby moves in up to the top. We have now everyone from the Good Guys starting to move down here. Antihero completely zoning Nurok. Good drain, so he can soak the entire shots. Oh, triple stun being hit as well by Kronos. They're trying to go for the Haka, who's already starting to lose HP quite rapidly. Needs to move out here. And Team Good Guys is moving in for position. They don't have the Tribute just yet, but they're starting to take this even more aggressively, and Vala has to move back as she nearly fell.
Nurok had to go back to hell and heal up and get some mana. Was able to do so, gets here in time to start delaying longer. Vala pushing in the middle lane is getting some experience that Team Good Guys have to consider grabbing. Raid Boss already on the channel. No one is nearby yet to delay, and Raid Boss is able to grab the Tribute. A small experience lead that goes over to Team Liquid, but nothing not manageable here for Team Good Guys.
And now they're going for the Haka. I know the Stormbolt is going to be crucial here. He's trying. Oh, dodges it actually, but there's the second stun. This is just a 5 versus 1. You can't win this one.
The Haka getting picked off there by 5, but ETC and Li Ming run to the middle lane, push it in there, deny some experience. Not too bad for Team Good Guys. They'll hit 10 too, so it's manageable for sure.
The Dino is dead. Extinct once again. There's the palm, by the way. So exactly for that reason. Whenever there's a stun stack on any target, you have that panic button available so that you can keep it alive. Super important here for them. The bullet now chosen. Overgo for the throat. March of the Black King. The new standard talent for Leoric.
Even adaptation getting picked. You know, we've been seeing a lot of isolation, trying to jump on top of a support, stop them from using Ancestor Healing or a Divine Shield. But knowing they need to stay alive, Darkmok adjusts. Make sure to set up for a different heroic here that he can take a little bit more damage.
And Splendor just punching away the entire time. Now his 16 is going to be pretty interesting because with all the stuns that we see for the Good Guys, I would expect the Cleansing Touch. But then of course still the question, do you want a bit more damage on the single targets? Do they start to play a bit more aggressively with it? But it would definitely help them to have some stun removal, considering that this Tyrande Murden composition can just be so devastating.
Blumby comes aside, will be able to move in for a delay if they continue channeling. Murden is the target. Hungry Arrow comes out. Ancestor Healing does connect there. Nice job there. Kronez on the side is working in some auto attacks as we have Leoric coming in to fight.
BKB finally can move out. That was a very dangerous spot for him to be in. He used his hop very early in the fight, and that was a problem. Antihero now with a march, but the kill right after that. He goes down, doesn't have his 13 yet, and with this kill, we should see the second Tribute going over to Team Liquid. Overall, Tribute number 3, second for Team Liquid. And yeah, they grab it quite easily here. Biggest problem was really that Muradin just hopped into that spot, so he had no escape as we saw him in the middle of 5 heroes. The Ancestral had to be dropped on him, and it was very rough for him to survive.
Possible Ops gets blown up, though, not expecting a fight to come his way. Greymane jumping on him, Splendor also walking away. Does still have Palm, but that fight was so quick, so unexpected, that he was unable to get there and get the Palm in time.
Yeah, Palm would have been great here in this part, and they couldn't save Vala. They saved Splendor at least, with Blumby moving in. Oh, sexy.
Fancy.
Oh, great face melt there. Pushing everyone into the boss stun. That could actually give the boss over to Team Liquid.
Yeah.
And now that Antihero is down, yep, with how low they are, this is going to be a boss steal, and it's all initiated by Blumby.
There it is. BKB's jumping in to contest. Darkmonk holding still with the adaptation. Mosh Pit. Blumby in this fight is putting on a full display on how to play ETC. BKB has held his own for some time, but as the numbers dwindle for his teammates, Team Liquid grabs the boss, gets a power slide, and finds more kills.
Yeah, that was a really bad hop there from Muradin, and he dies now too. Anti-hero comes back, and this is just a massive kill streak for Team Liquid. That's 5 heroes that they killed. They just killed Theoric twice.
They didn't even need Vala there. Vala just beeline straight to the tribute on the top right side, gets the curse, and now a boss is pushing on the bottom side. Keep walls being opened up, 13 being hit. Vala opened the 4 on the top. Team Liquid, with that small play from Blumby, has turned around this game.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of things, but that was the best start for sure. Pushing 3 heroes into the stun and then immediately taking the position on the point, that was fantastic. Getting the kill against Theoric, of course, the icing on the cake here. Overall, 6 kills against 2 now. They have a 2-level lead, more than that in a few seconds, and they are moving in with a curse. Top 4 is going to fall. Vala is in the middle. Down here, it definitely means keep. There's no way of saving this one. Team Liquid is absolutely destroying the good guys in this first game now.
And with that, they get 3 levels, move towards almost 4 levels. They're about to hit level 16. They do. They get a 4-level lead over Team Good Guys. They get the 4 in the middle. Top 4 die 2. Team Liquid is dominant.
At this moment, if you're Team Liquid right now, you're sitting on the map and you're like, guys, what are we doing next? Because you can literally choose. Like, your problem is you have anything you want, you can basically get. They could siege up on a keep if they wanted and even force that. But they go for the boss at the top, which is the smart play, of course. And then with the boss, they will probably move for the second keep. That's at least what they should do. Grab keep number 2 and make sure that you just get a massive, massive lead before your opponent has any chance of fighting you.
Boss is down, and now they move in the top. They can peel off Darkmonk. He can go to a middle lane or a bottom lane. Keep the soak there. Brushstalker is up and available. So we'll see how they try to break down a keep here. As they aggressively move in for the Watchtower. They would have loved to have the Giants, but Team Good Guys, knowing they were doing the boss, took that tool away from him.
Now, there is finally the Omnious Wrath for Leoric, but to be honest with you, I do not really think that is going to make a difference here. You are 3 levels behind, you are talent behind, 13 versus 16 in levels right now in favor of Team Liquid. Yes, damage reduction is nice, but still, how do you survive this? This, on the other hand, was a pretty good hit against Blumby and forced the palm out, which didn't trigger. Blumby is going to be back on a decent health in just a second, but that was a very good start for the good guys for this defense.
Moving in here, finally getting to the keep. The Lunar Flare comes out on top of the boss. That means Hoswalps can use Strafe. If he dodges the Storm Ball, he'll be fine. Doesn't dodge it, though. The interruption comes out as BKB hits it, but he gets low on health as he goes in for the fight. And Team Good Guys defend their keep. They lose some health on it, but not too shabby there.
That snipe against ETC at the start, again, it didn't kill him, but with how low he was and that they used Palm already, forced Team Liquid back. They couldn't commit to the keep. It's actually really impressive that the good guys were able to save that keep, and it all comes down on nearly finishing off ETC there and forcing him to play more passive.
So Team Liquid on this side now, with both bosses taken off the battlefield, are going to coast and just watch these tributes. Might set up some ganks on their opponents on bushes on the side if they push out the map well enough, but all it comes down to is map control and making sure to be in the right spot at the right time. Team Good Guys on the other side are going to be looking for vision. That's the one good news for him here. With having Tyrande on the field, they can constantly scout out Team Liquid, and that allows for them to make the plays. Can they clear out top lane? Can they clear out bottom lane? Get that experience to get to 16.
And team fights are going to be interesting now. If we ever have this boss situation that we talked before the draft, where Leoric could literally change the entire outcome of the fight by simply hitting with his Wraith Walk, Li-Ming and Vala, that would be extremely big here. So that's something to watch out for, especially after level 16, which is going to be the next talent for the good guys. But right now, Liquid is still trying to use the advantage they have to at least break through the wall here.
Pushing in the middle, breaking down the wall, which allows Darkmonk to sneak to the bottom, grab the tribute. Team Good Guys shouldn't be in range. Could have a Owl come out to interrupt, but nope, it goes in the middle as it's trying to hit some more shots, and Darkmonk will grab the tribute. They are tied 1-1. Team Good Guys doing everything they can here to play patient. And you mentioned the 16. They're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, if you have an advantage, you always want to push the limits, and that's exactly what Team Liquid is doing. They need to be careful once 16 is hit, but in the meantime, try to make sure that you have something like an actual advantage on the map itself. And that usually means either you take the keep, that's the ideal scenario, or you at least open the wall so that you have an easier time later after a fight to attack the keep. We also see now with 16, of course, Royal Focus taken. We have Murden, by the way, with a little bit of a change here on level 16, not going into the stun, but instead we are seeing him straight with Give Him the Axe. That comes after Skullcracker on level 7, so a bit of attack speed bonus on 7, now also made stronger by the extra damage that he has through Give Him the Axe, especially proccing off slows, which in this case is going to be delivered by Rhaegar, by Tyrande, by Leoric, so there's quite a lot of heroes that can help him to proc that extra damage.
Helping walk down that Karazim without having to hit a Stormbolt, which can be difficult in itself. He dives in, you can Skullcracker him in to give him the axe and be a little bit more effective on the damage than you expect.
Karazim, by the way, went into Cleansing Touch. Haven't really talked about it yet. We mentioned it earlier that it makes sense against all the stuns that we have here. So Karazim not going for damage, instead Cleansing Touch, and that of course works extremely well with his level 7 talent. Another tribute taken, this time by the good guys, and the boss was also sneaked, so the bottom boss taken, but that comes at the cost of a keep at the top, so 2 keeps down on the side of the good guys. Still a 3-level lead for Team Liquid, 19 versus 16, but at least with the boss, the good guys can start to take a few structures down and close the experience gap. But there's of course no doubt that at some point that level 20 is going to hit hard.
It's going to be difficult. Darkmonk comes in for the flank, not with level 20 because they realized that Leoric was not there. A power slide in, or a wave of force connecting to Nurok, just sniping. Team Good Guys here, the talent lead, the level lead being a bit too much, the gank from Darkmonk just coordinated.
A pre-cleanse on Vala, so she can strafe, so he went in with the Cleansing Touch.
That was so quick, that was actually hard to cast. They just completely deleted Team Good Guys.
Yeah, they went in, got the initial kill, Mosh Pit, and then just completely killed everyone else. The problem was also, Leoric wasn't even there. He couldn't even do anything with his 16 and his 13. We talk about Leoric the entire time, but there was not a single fight where Leoric could even give any value with those important talents that we mentioned. Game's over, Liquid takes it, and that was impressive by Liquid or sad by TGG, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, a bit anticlimactic there towards the end. Just they were setting up, trying to make a play to get some experience, and just shut down.
Was it anticlimactic? I mean, it was basically the continuation of what we've seen the entire game. So Liquid absolutely destroying the good guys in game number 1. I mean, that wasn't even close.
Yeah, part of me wants to wonder if it all comes down to that big moment that happened on the bottom left boss, because they seem to be so far behind from there, or if Team Liquid is just looking that good today.
I mean, they looked strong with what they played here. So in the early game, there were a couple of scenarios. For example, the level 10 kill at the bot lane against Vala, where Palm wasn't procced. That could have maybe been played a little bit different. There were moments where good guys looked good. The Vala kill, when also up at the top, they were doing pretty well against the push, where ETC was nearly taken down, but in the end forced Team Liquid to move back. But overall, Liquid just looked very well coordinated here, and an easy win. Then again, we have seen them within a series completely flipping the other way then, so I wouldn't really judge it too much yet, but at least it's a great start for them, so that's the lead they want. The question is, can they deliver in the next game?
That's a good point. Remember the last time Team Liquid faced off against Tricked Esports? Game number 1, Cursed Hollow, shut down Tricked Esports, go into game number 2, doing very well, and then suddenly the Falling Dragon comes online, and they get completely 3-0'd after that, a 3-1 victory of Tricked Esports. So, Team Liquid has to close out the series, because they have had some bumps as of late that we have been noticing, but starting today, they are looking pretty good here with the game number 1. Now, game number 2 getting set up here. Going into the next map, what do you want to see from our good guys here?
I mean, usually I would even have said that I want to see them on Cursed Hollow again, but that was also with the old style that they played here. To be honest, I want to see just something. I would not mind if they would have preferred some maps that are not being played all that often. I don't think that against Team Liquid there's any map that really stands out to me where they can excel. It's just whatever they feel like.
Well, I want to see more Anti-Hero, and we're actually look at him in our player comparison as we look at him and Nurok from both Team Liquid and Team Good Guys. Anti-Hero, when he's in a team fight, they get set up pretty well. Sadly, in that last game, he couldn't get there in time as Team Liquid was too effective at getting kills, and part of that was because of Nurok here with his new Li Ming build that he's been showing with that Cannoneer.
Yeah, the one thing that I really have to say about this is that Leoric, I'm a little bit let down because Leoric never really had the chance to do anything in these fights, and in the last fight he didn't even participate. Team Liquid was absolutely on point here, and yes, Nurok, with the aggression that he shows right now, turning Li Ming basically into an auto-attacker, that's something that we have now seen several times by him, and it's actually quite fun to observe, and he's really sold on that build overall.
the biggest changes that you have seen in those builds, that level 4, that Charge Blast, and the 13 Cannoneer has been the big disruptors. Usually you see Dominance and then Illusionist at 13 for mostly mean players, but Nurok believes, man. I saw him and Mane talking about it on Twitter, going back and forth, bantering a little bit, but hey, if you're going to win with it, can't fight it.
He sometimes also drops Calamity. He says for him it's personally just one of these things where he decides that on the fly. It's a talent where he's sometimes willing to just give it up, and he don't thinks he gets too many resets where he can apply the damage. So it's really pretty cool to see that he's experimenting with it. But as you said, the banter between him and Mane on Twitter about the build, it's pretty fun. So if you don't follow the two of them, you should definitely make that happen, because there's always a lot of banter going on between the European players.
I mean, I played it. It feels pretty good, man, especially when people are chasing you. You're able to punish them, constantly dropping out the Qs, getting some teleports, working in those Cannoneer damages. It feels good to get auto attacks from Li Ming that actually do damage.
I really don't enjoy playing mages, but Nurok nearly has me to the point where I'm giving Li Ming another try, just because he says, like, no, you don't understand. It's not a mage, it's an auto attacker. And I'm like, I'm sold on the auto attack idea, so I might give that a shot.
Try Li Ming. She's fun, man. Let's go to game number 2. Check out our